Hi traders, and welcome to my video on the free Bollinger Bands EA, which I have created for the MT4 trading platform. You can download it from the link in the description and from my website. In this video, I'm just going to run through the EA settings and how you can test and optimize it, okay, and the different ways in which you can implement it within your trading strategy. Okay, so here I have the MT4 trading platform with the strategy tester window opened here. I've loaded the Bollinger Bands EA, as you can see there. We're going to test it on the euro dollar currency pair on the 1 hour chart time frame. For the model, we're going to use open prices only. That's because the EA uses open prices for the trading signal criteria. However, you can also use every tick for more accurate testing when it comes to money management. That's because open prices only, as the name suggests, only use open prices, whereas the every tick method will account for intrabar prices, which can impact the stop loss and take profit, trailing stop, etc. But I like to use the open prices just for a rough first test, and we can always narrow it down to every tick following on from that. Okay, so for the dates, we're going to use the previous month. Okay, and I'm going to show you, going to tick visual mode to show you how the EA trades. So I'll just run through some of the settings for you here. So we've got the alerts. You can set pop-up alerts, which is basically a platform alert, email alerts and SMS alerts, and use trading. When use trading is set to true, it means that the EA can actually place the trades for you. Okay, if you have that set to false and any of the alerts set to true, the EA will just alert you when there's a signal and you can decide to take action from there, hence making it semi-automated. Days filters is self-explanatory. Basically, you can choose the days of the week, as well as the hours filter, which you can choose the hour to start and the hour to end trading. Okay, magic numbers, basically the order ID. You can set the order ID for the buy and sell trades. Okay, this is just so you can differentiate from any other EAs that you may be using on your platform. The maximum spread and maximum slippage settings basically mean that the EA will avoid giving you trading signals or trading itself if the maximum spread and slippage are above these values, which are in pips, set to 5 by default. Money management, basically you can set the open orders limit. We've got it set to 1 by default. That means that the EA can open a maximum of 1 buy and or 1 sell trade at any time. Okay, lots, basically the position size. The EA will use lots if you have this use risk set to false. If you set use risk to true, then the EA will calculate the lot size based on this risk percent. So it's 2% by default, which means the EA will calculate the lot size so that the maximum loss or risk is 2% of the account balance. Okay. Stop loss and take profit, you can set. Close opposite signal basically means the EA will close a trade if there's an opposite signal. Okay, so this can be good so you don't get into conflicting positions. Okay, like logic suggests that if there's an opposite signal, you perhaps might want to consider exiting a trade. That being said, there are instances where an opposite signal may not necessarily mean it's time to exit, especially if you're trying to catch big moves and big trends. Okay, we have a break-even option here, which you can set to true or false. Break-even point is when the stop loss would be moved to break-even. So if it's 100 at 100 pips profit, the break-even would be, the stop loss would be moved to break-even. Use trail, you can set to true or false. This is basically a trailing stop. Okay, so the trailing gap is how far behind the price the stop loss will move. Close percent means you can close a percentage of the trade as the trailing stop or the break-even points are reached. So you can close, 20% of the trade, 50% of the trade, and let the rest run. It will close that percent each time the trailing gap is reached, okay? But you can set a minimum lot close, which means it will stop closing part of the trade once the lot value is come this low. Okay, so if, for example, we're trading one lots and we set this to 0.2, the EA will keep closing part of the position until there's only 0.2 lots remaining open, and then it will just leave the rest. So the nitty-gritty of the EA here is the Bollinger Bands. So this is the strategy that's used. There's actually two strategies in this EA. Okay, you've got the Bollinger Bands reversal and the Bollinger Bands breakout. So how they work for the Bollinger Bands reversal strategy. Okay, you see the Bollinger Bands here on the chart behind. I just move this out of the way. For the reversal strategy, the EA will sell when the price closes above the band, and the EA will buy when the price closes below the lower band. Okay, so sell above the upper band, buy below the lower band. Okay, and that's really for ranging market. That's how I would personally trade a reversal, unless you're looking to get into a pullback on a trend, which is fine as well. Okay, and Bollinger Bands breakout strategy, the second strategy, the EA will do the opposite. So it will sell, as you can see on the chart behind, sell when the price closes below the lower band, or buy when the price closes above the upper band. Okay, so that's looking to enter on a breakout of the Bollinger Bands. Okay, you can set the bands period and the bands deviation. These are the default periods and deviation of 20 and 2. Again, to reiterate, you can set the EA to send you alerts or to trade for you. Okay, why would you choose one or the other? Personally, the alerts I think are great because you might not want to watch a chart all day for a specific setup to occur. If I can just show you a quick example here. Level of support, lower highs. Sorry, level of resistance making lower highs, level of support making higher lows. Okay, this is a wedge pattern here. Okay, it's almost a bull trap. We have a breakout to the downside, a triple top formation here. 1, 2, 3. That's when resistance is tested at least 3 times. Neckline is the support within a triple top, which we have a breakout of here. Back, this support line goes all the way back to there. So we know this is a strong support level. After the breakout, the support became resistance, and then that would have been a good opportunity to enter on this trend. We wouldn't have even needed any indicators to do this. I'm an advocate of price action trading, candlestick patterns, and just chart formations. I like to draw my lines, as you'll see. And I just think this particular trend, we could have traded just based on breakouts all the way down. See a nice M pattern there, breakout to the downside, even a bearish flag as well there. I've got videos on all these patterns and chart formations that you can check out. It's just good to be aware of them all. But, you know, logic is we're in a downtrend. We trade on the breakout of support, and there's ample opportunity to enter this trend just doing that. Okay, we don't need any EA or fancy indicators to actually do that. I mean, we can catch this big move. If we would have got in on the first breakout there, almost 400 pips of profit potential. We could have trailed the stop on the way down and, you know, manually caught plenty of pips. Keeping in mind this is a 1 hour chart, so you wouldn't have needed to stare at the charts all the time. Try and get almost 400 pips on the 5 minute and 1 minute chart in the space of a month. Not easy. Okay, so that's not what the EA does. That's just me pointing that out because the chart's in front of me, and it would be rude for me not to share that. So the EA, what it could do is you could set it to alert you when the price goes below the, or even above the Bollinger Bands in a trend. Okay, so you could be waiting for an opportunity. You could say, okay, I want to enter on a pullback in this trend. So I'm going to set the Bollinger Bands EA to alert me when the price pulls back above the upper band. Okay, so as it did here, the EA could have sent you alert. You could have had it on a Bollinger Band reversal, true. So when the price goes above the upper band, you get an alert for a sell trade, and then you say you could either sell straight away if you want, or just draw your support and say, okay, we've had the pullback. I can draw my support. I'm going to wait for a breakout and then enter into the trend that way. Thank you, EA, for alerting me to the pullback. Again, another pullback here. You could have done exactly the same thing. Pullback here. You could have done the same thing again. Price didn't quite close above here, so you would have missed these entries, but that's why I don't always, well, I would never rely solely on technical indicators, okay? I'd still be checking manually myself. But that being said, you can also adjust the deviations, just make the Bollinger Bands tighter and get more signals. For example, these pullbacks here, you would have been alerted here and here to the pullback. Then you could have said, okay, I know we're in a downtrend. The EA's told me there's a pullback. I'm going to look to enter on a continuation. Same here and here, even here. You know, the EA's alerted you. There's been a pullback. Hop on in. Okay. All these opportunities you had moving downwards. Another pullback here. You don't jump straight in. You wait for the breakout, and then that's probably more up there. And then you can enter. Okay. That's manually, of course. Again, pull back here, just draw your support line and you can enter into the trend, albeit probably a bit late there. You want to get in up around here somewhere. These alerts for a pullback and look to enter on the breakout. Here, pullback alert, draw your support, enter on the breakout. Here, pullback, this is a good entry. You see this? I've had a nice initial breakout, which would have been an aggressive trade to be fair, but then after the pullback around here, would have been ample opportunity to pounce. You could have pounced in on this, had an alert, there's been a pullback. I'm going to look to trade on the breakout there. And you can see not a bad trade with over, well, around 300 pips of profit potential. Again, you could use your trailing stop, just putting your stop loss above these highs on the way down, locking in as much profit as possible. Okay, all the way down to around here somewhere, you would have maximized pretty much all of that move. What I wouldn't want to do is just exit prematurely for, I don't know, 20 to 30, 50 pips, whatever, when you can potentially ride big trends. I prefer to just cut losing, trade short. And when we capture big moves like this, make the most of them. Okay, so going back to the EA, if you don't want to trade manually, and just to say as well, you can get alerts on either the breakout or the reversal of the bands on the way down. The whole purpose is just looking to enter only short trades because we're in a downtrend. Okay. But yeah, if you know you really must only have an EA trade for you, I think that's personally bad. A bad idea. I prefer to manually check everything, especially when you can see we can capture this trend with just a few trend lines and support and resistance. If you insist that EA trades for you, then for this month, as soon as I see there's a direction of a trend, like a downtrend here, I'm going to go to the EA settings and put short only, because we only want sell trades. That we're in a downtrend, we're only going to look for sell trades. So if I put it to short only and then run the test again, you can see the EA only takes the short trades there, there, and there, which is not ideal, but this is the limitations again of EAs. We know from our lines, look how much better this looks with lines. We know from our lines what the situation is here. Prices reach resistance, it's making lower highs. We have a breakout here to the downside of this support level. We have a pullback and then another nice entry on the breakout down there, and we can ride this trend. We don't need the EA or even the bands to do that. Okay. As we were entering a reversal here, we didn't get in until this point. That's when the price, if I just zoom in there for you, the first entry was here when the price closed above the band. Okay, which means that we missed ample opportunities to enter on the way down, which is why, again, I don't rely solely on indicators. Okay. But that being said, that was a good trade. Did miss all of these. We could perhaps tighten the deviations to get more trades on the way down. Okay, so if we do that, we can put the deviations to 1. Let's run another test, and you can see more sensitive, so there's more entries. There's the trend. You know, it's going down, and we're selling on all the pullbacks of the bands. One thing I can see from looking at this, the exit is way too premature. You know, I'd want to get into the first one and just stay in that position as much as possible all the way down. Manually is best for that, because then we can just put our stop loss above the highs. Okay, rather than jumping in and out of trades and just risk eventually being wrong. As you can see, selling here, we wouldn't want to sell there. You know, we would have ideally been in this position all the way down. We would have exited when we see the market making these higher lows, and then, you know, turn the EA off. We wouldn't even be looking to take any more short trades, as where we'd be selling low by this point. We would have wanted to get in on these ample opportunities early on. But how can we do that with the, well, we can't do that with the EA, it's just impossible. But what we can do is we can leave the stop loss as it is, but for the take profit, we'll put it high, like 500 pips, but then we're going to use a break even and a trailing stop. Okay. One thing before we do that is I want to mention about the take profit. The take profit we have set to 50 pips. Okay. But for me, that's not, I don't like to use rigid take profit and stop loss levels. Okay. Because when I enter this trade here, well, I wouldn't enter that trade for starters. I would have been in this breakout, or I probably would have even waited for that breakout. Okay. But say I took this breakout here off this nice M pattern, and also that is a bearish flag, as I said earlier, a bearish flag pattern there for you. I would have placed my stop loss around 25 pips, just above this high here. Yeah, sometimes it may be 25, sometimes it may be 30, sometimes it may be 15, it may be 10. Let's have a look at this breakout here. Okay, had we traded this breakout, that's an NFP candle there, non-farms payroll, first Friday of the month. Hence, you know, that big drop there, but we could have jumped in this trend on that momentum. If we did take that breakout there, my stop loss would have been above the high here, which is between 15, like around 15 pips. So it's different every time, you know, 25, 15. You know, what would it be if we took this breakout? It'd be above this high here, around 20 pips. So, you know, 15, 20, and 25 is 3 different stop losses, whereas an EA is always fixed, rigid, 50 pips or 20 pips or whatever it is. You can sometimes get a good average, which from the 1 hour chart time frame I'd say would be between 20 and 30 pips, but you know, you wouldn't always just wait for the stop loss to get hit. Here's an example. Yeah, if an EA places a 50 pip stop loss up here, as soon as, if you took that sell trade, which would be a bad idea because the market's making higher lows and you're selling at the bottom of this trend. But if, you know, in theory you did take this position, you're going to get out quick. You know, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're not breaking even, the price is turned around straight away. There's no need to wait for your stop loss to get hit. Okay, you can just, well, I would prefer to cut my losing trades short and let the winning trades run. That way, if we do have a 20 pip stop loss hit 3 times, 60 pips, but we eventually capture, you know, a move like this with 360 pips available, 360 minus 60, we're still 300 pips up. Yeah, that's the importance of money management, which EAs can be rigid with. I'm just being honest. Okay, so there you go. You see, we can, if there was an option here, stop loss for a sell trade swing high, I'd click yes. For a buy trade swing low, I'd click yes. But you know, the EAs are rigid to that extent. They can't spot what the human eye can spot, and it's open to interpretation. You know, some people may say that, okay, I want to put it above that high, or you know, it's different for each person. But you know, we'll work with what we've got. So closing an opposite signal, we probably want set to false. And why do we want set to false? Because if we're taking a reversal trade, okay, this is a reversal trade, yeah, we don't want to close. A reversal trade is selling above the upper band, yeah, so we don't want to sell when the price goes below the lower band, which is the opposite signal. Because if we do that, again, we're just exiting prematurely. Why would we, you know, we're in the trade, we're not going to exit on the opposite signal. We're shorting only, so we can turn that off, set that to false. And then we're going to look to maximize the move as much as possible. Because again, if I just run it, stop loss 50, take profit 100, okay? Just run it at that, no close on opposite signal. And I'll show you, right? It looks nice. The graph is up. You know, you can see, well, wow, you picked some good trades there. We did, but the 100 pip take profit again is too rigid, as is the stop loss. Why, you know, okay, that may look like a good exit, but Is that a good exit there? No, it's not. Why is that? Because we could have stayed in this position, put our stop loss above the recent high, then above this high, then above this high, and just it could have been double the 100 pips there. Could have exited around here once we've seen the market make the higher lows. Instead, it took the take profit here, re-entered, risking being wrong again, even though it was another good trade. But as you can see here, when it tried to re-enter, stop loss hit. We could have just stayed in this trade all the way down, right? But by having a fixed take profit level, this isn't the case. Okay, so how do we get around that? Well, if we just make the stop loss something really high, the take profit something really high, we've already established that the stop loss is rigid. It can be, I did say 25 pips as an average, let's say, for the 1 hour chart. We're not going to close an opposite signal. So how are we going to know when to exit, right? Well, we're not unless you're watching the charts. But we can use the break even and the trailing stop to try and maximize the move as much as possible. And the reason I'm selecting these is because we're going to run an optimization, okay? And optimization just basically allows you to test different combinations of parameters, okay, over historical data. So we're going to test the break-even point, true or false, and we're going to test it from 20 to 100 in 20 increments. So that means it will test break-even point if it was 20 pips, 40 pips, 60 pips, 80 pips, or 100 pips, because we're starting at 20, going to 100 in 20 pip increments. We'll do the same for the trailing stop. Also testing it true or false. And for the close percent, we'll use close 0% or close 25%, 50%, up to 75%. The minimum lot to close, we're trading one standard lot, so we'll say you can close either 0. What should we do for that? 0.25 in 0.25 increments up to 1.25, so it will stop closing after one lot. For optimization as well, I've got this genetic algorithm checked, which basically means the EA will combine the parameters considering what it believes will produce the best results. If you uncheck that, it will do every single combination of parameters, which can take a long time. Okay, so optimization checked. We're going to optimize those settings for the past month and see what we get. Okay, so this shows us our results of all the different combinations, including the profit, the trades, the profit factor, drawdown. So we can double click and then that will load the settings into here. So what worked best? Well, apparently having break even and trailing stop set to true, the break even point being at 60 with a trailing gap of 20 and closing 50% of the trade up until 0.25 lots is what worked best. So let's just run that test. We'll do it in visual mode. Nice graph. And then if we just look, okay, not bad, but also again not ideal because we got out of this position too early, in my opinion. I would have liked to have, my trailing stop would have been up here somewhere. You can see it got taken out here. Same with this one, got taken out in the pullback. My stop loss would have been up above these highs. I wouldn't have gone out that quickly, okay? But you can always increase the trailing gap value as well. You can also close less of the position and just let more run. As you can see here, by using the higher trailing gap, we were able to maximize this move as much as possible. But ideally, you want to get in one trade and just ride it all the way down. Okay, so the EA perhaps good to give you a signal for timing your entry, but you might want to handle the money management yourself. That being said, it can, produce good parameters, but bear in mind that we've just optimized for 1 month of data. What works during 1 month may not work for another month. It's just curve fitting or over optimization, which is basically finding the ideal settings for a particular data set, okay, which may not apply to other markets. For example, in this upwards trend here, first of all, we wouldn't short. I'd only be looking to place long trades, okay, up here. So I'd have the EA set to long. And those particular trailing stop and break-even settings we had may not be ideal for that, which is why I said the human touch, I think, is important. Okay, that being said, you can probably find a good combination of settings to trade both long and short. You know, over more data if you want. Okay, so we go for, you know, you can change you can test different periods. So if we just go Bollinger Bands period, we'll start 10 and we'll go up to 30. Deviations, we'll start 1 and go up to 2. Okay, so we'll optimize those. The stop loss will optimize 25 to 50. We'll leave the take profit high because we're going to use the break even and trailing stop. Okay, so we're going to optimize now more settings of the EA. Trading long and short, but as I said, this is a downtrend, so it might not be ideal. What's happened there? Did I have it long and short? Yep. Okay, I had it long and short, and you can see by trading long, look, we barely have any good results in there. Let me just check this. Okay, because we're in a downtrend, so of course we're not going to have good results if we're buying as well at the same time. Okay, so you can optimize all the different settings. Just be careful the data set that you're optimizing over is not just curve fitted or over optimized for that particular data set. You know, some developers would just run various combinations of settings to try and find what would perform good over a specific set of data and then just use that as a set file, where in reality it's just, like I said, over optimized. Okay, so if I just reset all of these settings, just put use trading back on true. Okay, I just want to show you the breakout strategy. So that's the reversal strategy. So how the breakout strategy works. I'll set it to trade long and short as well. Okay, we'll do visual mode for the previous month. Okay. So the breakout strategy is doing the opposite. It'll sell when the price goes below the bands and buy when the price goes above the bands. Okay, as you can see here, when it closes above or below, right? So sell, sell, buy, sell, buy, with only one trade open limit. Remember that. So this sell trade here is open. It didn't open another one because it got open orders, is limited to 1. Okay, if we close on opposite signal, run another test, you can see now sell, breakout, that actually reached the target. Sell, that hit stop loss. I mean, I'm going to have to turn off let me just turn off the stop loss and take profit just to show you here. This is better, right? So you can see sell below, close the sell when price goes above, buy when price goes above, sell when price goes below, price closes above, buy, sell when price goes below. So this is just buying and selling when price is crossing either side of the bands, okay? We're in a downtrend again, so we can short only. We know that this month is a downtrend, so we want to be taking short trades. I'll leave close on opposite signal set to true, and you can see not terrible breakout there. I wouldn't have closed going above, to be honest, simply because we could have just put our stop loss here, let price continue, and again trailed our stop loss all the way down. But you know, it wasn't terrible. It's not the worst. I mean, you can see from that curve it's pretty decent, but we did need to activate the EA as sell only. We don't want to be taking long trades as well because we're in a downward trend. Okay, how can we maximize this one? Again, same thing. If we don't close on opposite, because we might want to try and excuse me, don't close on opposite because we want to try and capture the move as much as possible. We will need a stop loss, especially if we're not closing on the opposite. We won't have a take profit because we're going to use the break even and trail, and we'll just optimize that again. see what settings it gives us for trying to capture the meat of this move. Why is it only done 4? Oh, I need to put the settings back in, don't I? Okay. So put those back in, close percent. What was that? 25 to 75, I think. Minimum lot 0.25, 0.25, 1.5. Okay. So now let's optimize the breakout strategy in this downtrend. I mean, one trade, and you know, if we can get one good trade, why not? I mean, that's pretty much exactly what we want. Enter on the first breakout. Why do we need to keep re-entering? We don't. And we can capture the majority of that move from one good trade. The only thing that I would have done differently, what were the actual settings it gave us? So it was using break-even point at 20, trailing it by 60 pips, closing nothing, 0%, and the minimum lot is above our lot size. So yeah, that goes to show with one good trade. I mean, that's probably the best results that we've had from all of the testing, and that's just because we took one good trade and maximized this move as much as possible. We didn't need to mess around in here or potentially sell at the low, be late to the party. Just emphasizes the difference that money management can have on a strategy. Yeah, the entries are still the same. It's just, you know, money management can have such an impact, and is often overlooked by too many traders who would maybe sell here and get excited. Oh, 50 pips, exit the trade here. Then maybe get excited and get some FOMO down here and sell at the low. Sell at the low here, sell at the low here, get stuck in a bear trap down here. Just time the entry. If we're wrong around here, we can just cut the losing trade short and just look for an opportunity. If we take multiple small losing trades, we know that when we capture one big trend like this, we can bank some good profits, okay? So that's the EA. I think that's most of the EA details covered. As I said, you can optimize all of the settings if you wish. You can do it just to send you alerts basically when the Bollinger Bands go above or below. You can set it to trade for you as well if you wish. If you do that, please make sure you test on a demo account. Yeah, so you can get it from the link in the description below. You'll also find an EA I've developed for MT4, which includes the majority of the indicators from the MT4 platform. So Bollinger Bands, MACD, RSI, CCI, stochastics, ADX, parabolic SAR, etc. It also has candlestick patterns along with all of these other settings, which you can adjust as you like. You can set your pop-up alerts, email, SMS alerts, or even set it to trade for you with your own money management. Thank you for watching. If you could please like and subscribe, that would be great help for my channel, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.